Hey, what is up guys? Marone Hardware is here, and today I am here to show you the peripherals I have for my main system, Eevee Revision 2. I don't have anything extravagant, but it gets the job done for me and is my pride and joy as a tech head. Of course, these aren't going to be with me forever, but I'll cherish each part that makes up my battle station while I can. Thank you to Another Civilian, aka Big Boss Man, aka, well, Dad, for suggesting the topic. So, without any further ado, let's get right into the presentation. First off, we have the centerpiece, the heart of the entire setup, Eevee 2, which is what I'll dedicate an entire video on later, so that's where you'll find the details of all the components, where difficulties arose, and so on, so be sure to stick around for that as well. In saying that, I won't spoil too many things other than saying she's a beast of a system to say the least. After completing her, I instantly became a fan of slim form factors, or mini ITX PCs. I mean, portability and the ultimate power of the universe combined. You've gotta be crazy. Anyways, I do plan on taking her to LAN parties with friends in the future, so she'll be a joy to tote around when the time comes. As for gaming, how does she perform? Imagine your dream build right now in your head. Go ahead and close your eyes. Visualize the most insane, perfectly draw-dropping, and high-end PC your mind can conjure up. Then subtract about half the cost, and you've got yourself my dream machine. Ugh, I'm so incredibly proud of her, crushing any game at 1080p ultra detail settings with 70 plus frames per second. She multitasks like a pro, memory and power management is on point. Oh yeah, she's definitely staying with me for a while. Again, there will be a future video giving an in-depth look at Eevee. She was inexpensive, for the most part, simple to assemble, and more importantly, so sexy I had to catch myself from proposing to... anyways, next up is the Afterglow Xbox 360 controller I use most of the time when I game casually. I know. Gaming on a PC with a gamepad, let alone a filthy Xbox controller. What the heck is wrong with you? Well, I'm still tied to the console side in this regard, and I prefer to game with a gamepad when accuracy isn't a critical factor in what I'm doing. If it is, then I do stick close to the old-fashioned keyboard and mouse combo. And speaking of keyboard and mouse, that is what is up next on our line of peripherals. I wanted some things to match with the others, so I went with Logitech's G230 gaming mouse. I do enjoy using Logitech hardware.
This video is not sponsored by Logitech International and is in no way endorsing their products. But, hey, if you want to sponsor this video, I would most definitely consider it. My number is 063.
I'm sure that you noticed by now that I don't use a mouse pad, and that's due to the limited amount of space that I have in the pull-out tray I'm using right now. Not to worry, there's no cosmetic damage to the other side of the mouse, and I don't find it necessary for the time being. It's still on my list of things to buy in the future nonetheless. So, moving on, we have the Corsair Vengeance Cherry MX Red Switch mechanical keyboard, and let me tell you, this has to be hands down my favorite red mechanical keyboard I've ever used for more than 3 reasons. This model in particular is ultra small, so it fits with my entire portable theme I was going for with Eevee quite nicely. Also, you might already know that I prefer minimalistic designs when it comes to any piece of hardware in my possession, which is why the elegant steel grain finish with a full-size QWERTY key set along with normal, alternate, and function keys also adds extra points in my book. And finally, each key is exactly the right mix between sensitive and responsive, so I can type very well and also get instant responses as I key in commands in-game. I love this board so much. It's the best $60 I've ever spent so far in my opinion. But enough about the keyboard for now. Let's get into something a little more unusual. Here we can see I have a hard drive connected to a Sabrent SATA 3 to USB 3.0 hub, which is connected to the I/O port on Eevee. Keeping my portable theme in mind, I decided to go with this option of mass storage. Inside, we have a 2TB Seagate hard drive that holds an archive of pretty much all the data I have on any device I've ever owned. Backups from previous phones, laptops, and even data from my first 2 iterations of Vendetta. Everything is organized inside this drive and then cloned over to another 2TB hard drive I have in storage downstairs. Having an offset copy of all your data is critical if you care about its safety and longevity. One mishap with the drive, whether it be by physical damage or file corruption or for some other reason, redundancy is your best friend. I did think about using a few drives and doing a RAID 1 type of storage system, but that might come later. I also want to switch from the 2 to 4TB Western Digital Blue hard drive as I accumulate more data. I saved the least interesting for last, unfortunately. Well, for the monitor, I actually used the TV I bought from a friend of mine about a year and a half ago for $150. It's just a JCV 50-inch 1080p flat screen that runs at 60Hz. Nothing fancy, but it's usable and it's served me well thus far. Funny story though. Well, it's... it's funny to me now anyways. The HDMI ports on the back of this TV are almost invisible and don't have any sort of labels to show you where the ports are unless you flip the entire thing upside down. I might have bought the TV 1.5 years ago roughly, but I didn't start using the TV up until about 7 months ago after finally figuring out that it supported more than just VGA video input. I looked online with the model information and it said it had HDMI, but I couldn't find where it was for the longest time. I'm such an idiot, but anyways, I will tell you that if you don't have a proper 720, 1080, 1440p, or 4K display, a TV does an okay job in the meantime. Oh yeah, and lastly, I have a 720p Logitech webcam at the top of the monitor, but no one cares. And that will conclude my list of peripherals for today's video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch all the way through, and I especially want to thank my dad for the suggestion. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, even so early on. It means a lot to me, Pops. I can't wait to give you all more content like this in the future. So, if this video wasn't too great, feel free to let me know either by commenting down below or by hitting the dislike button. I appreciate any productive feedback from you guys. But if you guys like the video, I appreciate that as well, and would proceed to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment on what your set consists of. I would love to hear what you all are rocking yourselves. Anyway guys, I better head off for now. I'm Marone Hardwares, and I wish you all nothing but the best of days. Hope to see you next time. Marone, signing off. Peace out, guys.